Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. May I kindly have your attention? Molweni. May I kindly have your attention, ladies and gentlemen? We kindly ask everybody to just go to his or her table. The president is here, the deputy president is here, the national chair is here, the officials are here. And we are going to plead with everybody, once the president comes in, we all receive him by rising. So protocol will indicate when that is ready.
Basakhela ikhaya basibelethele izingane nani abesifazane hloniphani abesilisa nikhumbule ukuthi ngaphandle kwabo nikwazi ukuphila kanti nathi abantu besilisa sikhumbule ukuthi ngaphandle kwenu asikwazi ukuphila basihloniphane.
Scorsese? Are you coming? Yes,
Umama kwamanani, wamambele duze, wakumbuze eGoli mama, ezola, wangibeke sifuke, wemama, wow. Thambo lam leKentucky, sambrela sami, sambrela sam selana, stu sami. Sojike madireni, awe mama, wow. Welcome to the baby, stop samsamana, itanda no muvuta baby, yo, yo, yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have kindly been informed that our president is in the adjacent room enjoying the exhibition for a few minutes. I'm sure some of you also had the opportunity to take it in. Quite historic, very, very thoughtfully put together. So if you wouldn't mind for another sort of 5 minutes or so, he should be with us shortly. Thank you.
Sengihamba ngokomishna, igogo aroshet, obhekesa flosh and shoes, baby. Yobona wena baby, ezola, wow. Gibeli i-20, eCalcon Center, esititini mama, yeshumila, werandi lami, wemama,
Thank you very much. The president will be here anytime. We've just been notified that he's already entering, and we hope that anytime protocol will indicate to me, he's coming in, ladies and gentlemen, the president of the ANC. His Excellency Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa. Welcome, Mr. President. You're welcome. Yep. Yep. There's the president. A round of applause again, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
You may be seated. On behalf of the Progressive Business Forum, may we warmly welcome you to this 113th birthday anniversary celebration of the ANC. Warm welcome to everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So my co-program director and I are very honored to be of service this evening. I would like to introduce Comrade Sibongile Besani. He is a National Executive Committee member who is head in the presidency. Thank you so much.
On the same note, ladies and gentlemen, do me no harm when I introduce to you my program director, the beautiful lady here next to me, a businesswoman who's none other than Ms. Sonia De Bruin, CEO of Identity Partners. Thank you very much, Sonia.
Thank you. So may we all stand, please, in order to sing our national anthem, soon followed by the AU anthem.
Thank you very much. This means that we have started the formal session. Let me start by acknowledging the presence of the officials of the ANC, the President, the Deputy President, Tate Mashatile and Mrs. Mashatile, the National Chairperson of the ANC, Comrade Gwede Mantashe, and the Treasurer General, of course, of the NCCA, Dr. Gwen Ramohopa, the Secretary General, Comrade Fikile Mbalula, the first Deputy Secretary General, Comrade Nomvula Makonyani, and the second Deputy Secretary General, Comrade Marupini Ramohopa. I must also acknowledge the NEC members who are here. I won't mention all of them. I must also go further to acknowledge the ministers, deputy ministers, premiers who are here. The Speaker of the National Assembly, I know she was around, Umamutoko Didiza. The MPs, our MPs, MPLs, maybe before I do that, our premiers who are here. I've seen the Premier of the Free State, Mayor Queen Letsoa Matai, our MPs, members of Parliament, and MPLs who are here, executive mayors who are here. Of course, it would be quite remiss of me not to indicate that all our business partners who have ensured that Progressive Business Forum is quite a formidable structure. I want to acknowledge all of you, our international guests who are here, who are always with us. We want to really appreciate your presence to grace this occasion. And all of you, ladies and gentlemen, everybody who's here is quite welcome. And once we get more information as to who is here, we will do so as we progress with our program. The program right now would like to call the provincial chairperson of the Western Cape, Comrade Vuyisile Chalisiso, Nzundu, to come over here to do a welcoming address. May we give him an applause.
Thank you, program directors, Comrade President, national officials and members of the National Executive Committee, the Diplomatic Corps, Queen Mochachi, distinguished guests, fellow comrades. I'm honored to stand before you today as the chairperson of the ANC in the Western Cape to welcome you to this momentous occasion. As we gather here tonight, we mark a significant milestone, the return of the January 8th celebration to the Western Cape after over a decade. We extend our deepest gratitude to the National Executive Committee leadership for entrusting us with this responsibility, a testament to their faith in our province's potential. This occasion is not merely a celebration, but a call to action. It signifies the beginning of our journey to reclaim the Western Cape, to restore the trust of our people, and to revive the spirit of liberation that once defined our great movement. We acknowledge that this will not be an easy task. It will require unwavering dedication, unrelenting effort, and collective support of our people, business leaders, and stakeholders. We humbly request that you join us in this endeavor to support the ANC in the Western Cape in our quest to reclaim this province and restore the dignity of our people. As we embark on this journey, we draw inspiration from our rich history, from our iconic leaders, and the countless sacrifices made by our people in pursuit of freedom and equality. We are committed to upholding the values of our organization, to promoting social justice, economic empowerment, and human rights for all. To our guests, we thank you for your presence, your support, your commitment to our shared vision of a better South Africa. We look forward to engaging with you, to listening to your concerns, and to working together to build a brighter future for our province and our nation. Let us use this occasion to rekindle our passion, to renew our commitment, and to reassert our determination to build a South Africa that is truly just, equal, and free for all. We are all welcome to the Western Cape. Khululani bhatyi zenu, nonwabe. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Comrade Chairperson, for the warm welcome to the province. Ladies and gentlemen, events such as this, against the backdrop of our engagements earlier today, some of you may be aware that the Progressive Business Forum was hosting a colloquium. And as you know, the PBF is part of the broader family of motive forces who are supporters of the African National Congress. So that includes the PPF, the Professionals Forum, as well as the PCF, the Progressive Citizens Forum. So today we were so fortunate that our colloquium took place with sector themes represented by all ministers of those sectors. And so we had the benefit of their presence and hearing thoughts at the highest level, particularly in this year of hosting the G20. And what was pleasing to note is how our government is grasping it with both hands, this opportunity. And with that, obviously, events such as this where we are dialoguing become important. That was more formal today. This evening is more informal. And we were reminded by our Treasurer General that one of the intents around the GNU, a statement of intent, is that of national dialogue. So today it's in a more festive environment. We hope we will enjoy ourselves. And we thank the PBF for providing this opportunity for us to engage with business people and with policymakers and so forth. So we'll be having our starters shortly. We'll have a musical item. The theme of the G20, as you know, is solidarity, equality, and sustainable development. Music is definitely one of those that unites us. This evening, later on, we will also have a jazz item. I'm not sure if the choir is ready for us, but ladies and gentlemen, while starters are served, we'll be having two musical items from Isibane, Se Africa. Please enjoy your starters. Thank you.
Ukujikele milanjeni yo mama ngoba kubethwa intonga Eqika lendlela bo ayonguqongqothwane eqika lendlela kuthiwa nguqongqothwane eqika lendlela ayonguqongqothwane eqika lendlela kuthiwa nguqongqothwane eqabela qubula chithapha uqongqothwane eqabela qubula chithapha bo loqongqothwane eqabela qubula chithapha bo loqongqothwane eqabela qubula chithapha bo uqongqothwane eqabela qubula chithapha bo loqongqothwane eqabela qubula chithapha bo uqongqothwane eqabela qubula chithapha bo uqongqothwane eqabela qubula chithapha uqongqothwane hello qika landela home. I can't make she was company. Iyaqala ukwenzeka lento. Iyaqala ukwenzeka lento. Iyaqala ukwenzeka lento. Lento iyaqala. Hayibo! Iyaqala ukwenzeka lento. Iyaqala ukwenzeka lento. Iyaqala ukwenzeka lento. Hayibo! Lento iyaqala. Iyaqala ukwenzeka lento. Iyaqala ukwenzeka lento. Iyaqala ukwenzeka lento. Lento iyaqala. Iyaqala ukwenzeka lento. Iyaqala ukwenzeka lento. Iyaqala ukwenzeka lento. Lento iyaqala. Iyaqala ukwenzeka lento. Iyaqala. ndo chido changu kukura uchie mwerera ganda rako rakasvibirira bvudzi rako rakafanana nerangu ukama hunotibhatanidza ndehwemakori akawanda kana uchema ndinozwa moyo wangu kurwadziwa kana uchema ndinozwa moyo wangu kurwadziwa maine mwana warere wakafa musangu apo mumwe murume ari padambudziko muzita rehondo maine mwana warere wakafa musangu apo mumwe murume ari padambudziko muzita rehondo kana uchema ndinozwa moyo wangu kurwadziwa kana uchema ndinozwa moyo wangu kurwadziwa maine mwana warere wakafa musangu apo mumwe murume ari padambudziko muzita rehondo ganda rako rakasvibirira bvudzi rako rakafanana nerangu ukama hunotibhatanidza ndehwemakori akawanda kana uchema ndinozwa moyo wangu kurwadziwa kana uchema ndinozwa moyo wangu kurwadziwa kana uchema ndinozwa moyo wangu kurwadziwa
Thank you. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. As you are about to complete your status, I think it is proper that we then continue with the program because tomorrow we still have a long day. So we want to make the night quite short and straight to the point. Let me just also acknowledge the presence of the Premier of Mpumalanga. I've come across him earlier, Tate Mandla Ndlovu, and we've also been informed that we have the chairperson of the House of Traditional Leaders in KwaZulu-Natal, Unkosi Shinga Undelu Ndabezitha. And he is also accompanied by Unkosi Xolo Upachwa Ndabezitha. And then we have Unkosi Lushaba Ukatyeni Boyabenyati Siyakhahlele. And then the other traditional leader who has accompanied us, Inkosi uDlamini uSibalukhulu ukhona lana, all the way from the province of KwaZulu-Natal. They have felt that it would be befitting for them to join lo msitho. Siyabulela kakhulu, siyathokoza. Ladies and gentlemen, may we then give them a round of applause because our traditional leaders are here. And I hope that, thank you. And I hope that if there's others that we have missed, we'll be informed in time. But now we're going to the next session of our program. Before we call the Treasurer General of the ANC, would like to share with you a video, because this is a big year for South Africa. This is a big year for our country, because we will be leading the G20. We'll be having more than 100 meetings throughout the country. But let me not spoil and share the rest with you. The video will tell a lot. May we kindly share a video, and thereafter we'll call upon the Treasurer General of the ANC to introduce the President. Thank you very much.
As South Africa's G20 presidency, we will be the first to host a G20 on the African continent, and we will want to use this moment to bring development priorities of the African continent and the global south more firmly onto the agenda of the G20. So South Africa's G20 presidency will advance 3 high-level priorities, which will find expression in the work of the Sherpas and the finance track as well. The first of these priorities is inclusive economic growth, climate change and dealing with its effects, industrialization, employment, and inequality. The second priority is food security. The third priority is artificial intelligence and innovation for sustainable development. So South Africa looks forward to working with all G20 members and invited guest countries. We will continue to work with partner countries as well and multilateral institutions. Approximately 130 meetings of the G20 will be held in South Africa, and I'm honored to welcome all of you to South Africa in 2025.
May we give a round of applause again, ladies, for that video. And I think our partners will be excited about it. And I must also acknowledge the president of the ANC Youth League, Comrade Colin Malachi. Nuku, ra go amogela. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, let me call upon the Treasurer General of the ANC, who has ensured that he connects with all of you to make this August occasion quite realizable. Dr. Gwen Ramohopa to introduce the President. Matsogo.
Thank you very much, co-program directors, also Sonia, and I must say about Sibongile, for really starting at a great note at this auspicious occasion. I want to send my humble greetings to His Excellency President Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa, who has graced this occasion. I know he's had a very punishing program, but he is very excited about the warm welcome from this part of our country, the Western Cape. And he is also very passionate about experiencing the day-to-day lives with the people and of the people, and has also taken time to understand the challenges that can marshal all of us to resolve such. He has also led us through what we call a liberation heritage route of some kind, a route of reflections of where we come from, as part of Umvuselelo for the African National Congress. President, we really want to appreciate the time you're giving us. I want to acknowledge amongst us the Deputy President of the African National Congress, my brother, Deputy President Paul Mashatile, who is always supportive of us and available when we call for his assistance. The chairman of the African National Congress, the Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General 1, and Deputy Secretary General 2, NEC members, members of the PEC of this province, Western Cape, led by the chair and the secretary and the officials, the rest of the ANC structures, including the ANC Veterans League, the Women's League, the Youth League that are here, the military MKLWV, military, MK military veterans, war veterans, and as you also have been with us through the very punishing program throughout celebrating our heritage of MK Liberation War veterans. I also would like to give a special warm welcome to the founding institutions of the African National Congress, the traditional leaders that are here, Rea Locha, Rea Litumisha, Rea Leboga hore le kgone ho fihla. We're very grateful that you are here to acknowledge that you are the founding institutions of the African National Congress as we celebrate 113th anniversary. The faith-based leaders that are here, that has been with us for the week that we've been here as the NEC. I want to also acknowledge the middle strata, because those are the three most key groups that formed the ANC in 1912. The professionals, the business sector, and those that are also researchers. We've also had academics with us the rest of today over the colloquium that we've held. My co-hosts of this event, members of the ANC fundraising committee, our deputy, ever so wonderful, Dr. Glorious Robe. Thank you very much for always being there to support as well as the other members too. Without really taking a lot of time, my task is to introduce the president who will greet us on the eve of celebrating 113th anniversary of the African National Congress. I therefore will not take much time except to say to all of you, we are ever so much grateful for your great generosity of time, generosity of resources, however big and small, we really acknowledge that. We also want to acknowledge that amongst us, there are excellencies, ambassadors, high commissioners, and heads of missions from the BRICS countries and others, especially from the African Union who are here with us. We ever so much thank you. You are at the core also of part of what the PBF considers key stakeholders for our dialogues and engagements and colloquia. Thank you for gracing us almost every time. All other provinces that are here, led by their chairpersons, and in government, their premiers, ministers who are not necessarily in the NEC, who have been here, deputy ministers, members of parliament. You're greatly appreciated for being present today. Mine is to remind you that this year the South African people, led by President Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa, will be hosting one of the largest associations, global associations, the G20. Very influential structure. And government is hosting on all our behalf. Let's communicate, let's dialogue, let's engage around this, but let's not wake up with G20 having passed without us leveraging its high potential of taking us to greater heights as a nation of South Africa, towards greater unity, towards equality, and also towards more sustainable development. With a wealth of resources that our country and our continent has, it is possible that G20 can really change the trajectory of our development quite significantly. Singalali, sizosala. Let us be awake to the fact that it is quite a momentous opportunity for all of us. The speaker asked to introduce needs not much of a presentation except to say that he is a servant leader for South Africa. I'm not sure where he gets all the energies, but he's a diplomat, a statesman par excellence, and he, I know, deeply loves South Africa and deeply cares for South Africans and deeply believes in unity, social cohesion, in equality, and in ensuring that our country moves faster, at a faster pace, working together. I would like to take this opportunity, therefore, on behalf of the PBF team, PCF team, and the support from the January 8 team, from the HQ who made this event a success, I would like to humbly request one and only President of the Republic of South Africa, President Cyril Matamela Ramaphosa, to come and address us. President, please do us the honor.
Let's be seated, please. Program directors, the Treasurer General of the African National Congress, who is our hostess tonight, together with those who assist her as part of the committee that she works with to host these events. Deputy President of the African National Congress and Deputy President of the Republic of South Africa, Paul Mashatile. National Chairperson, Gwede Mantashe. Mbalula, Figile Mbalula, Secretary General. Nomvula Mukonyane, First Deputy Secretary General. Marupini, Ramokgopa, Second Deputy Secretary General, and members of the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress, the leadership of the Alliance who are here present, the leadership of our provinces who are here, but in this case more particularly, Comrade JJ, the chairperson of our province here in the Western Cape, who is also our host, the leadership of our leagues who are here present, the leadership of our various other formations who are part of the democratic movement, our premiers, as well as our executive mayors who are here with us, our traditional leaders who have also been welcomed by Comrade Besani, but I particularly want also to recognize Queen Masalanabo Mojaji, who is also here with us. Your Excellencies, High Commissioners and Ambassadors who are also here, and comrades, members of the African National Congress and other fraternal organizations and friends. This is a moment when we should be happy on the eve of the delivery of the message from the National Executive Committee of the African National Congress, the traditional message of the January 8th. And we'd like to thank the business people who are here with us, who've bought the tables. We thank you for continuing to support the African National Congress. Thank you very much. I'm sitting at a table here right in front, and the Deputy President is also sitting at a table. I saw the National Chairperson. Now, at my table is also seated the President of the ANC Youth League. When he came in, he decided to sit at the head of the table. Now, when I looked at the table where the Deputy President is seated, I see at the head of the table is a very serious businessman who you can see that they will have made a serious contribution towards the fundraising effort of the TG. Now, when I looked at the president of the ANC Youth League sitting at the head of the table, I asked myself, what has he contributed from a financial point of view, sitting at the head of the table? And the youth, apart from obviously having the great ambition of leading this country going forward, they have a very immediate, impatient desire to also sit at the heads of the table, even when abana selo sa go contribute as a challenge. It's actually quite a great joy to have the 113th anniversary of the formation of our glorious movement here in the Western Cape. And we'd like to thank the leadership of the ANC here in the Western Cape, and of course, the SGO, the Secretary General's Office, for having led the process, which was approved by the NEC, that we should hold the anniversary of the birth of the ANC here. The provincial chairperson and others have done a really fantastic job, much as we go all over to mobilize for the holding of the January 8th celebrations in the Western Cape here. We found a leadership of the ANC that had put in a lot of work, and I'd like us to give them a round of applause for the work that they have done. This is a very special January 8th celebration because one of the wonderful attractions that the SGO added, much as we have a pilgrimage in the latter days of our movement, on the 8th of January, we embark on a pilgrimage to go to the various important sites, particularly the burial sites of our former leaders. We started off in 2018 when we went to the gravesite of the first president of the African National Congress in KZN, when we visited the burial site of President John Langalebale Dube. We've continued with that tradition, which the national chairperson dubbed a pilgrimage, and we continue with that practice. And this year's continuation of that practice was especially important and profound in that we went to Robben Island and held the celebration, and we held the celebration all over the province, no doubt, but it was especially profound to have held the celebration, one of the celebrations, in the cell of President Nelson Mandela on Robben Island. And we'd like to thank the Secretary General and the SGO, Comrade Nomvula Mukonyane, and all those who work in the SGO, Comrade Balula, for having made this possible. It was especially wonderful and touching. Your presence here tonight does bear testimony to the enduring way in which we celebrate January 8th and the birth of our movement. And so your presence here is a great honor, not only to the ANC, but also to the founders of the African National Congress. For on this day, we remember the contribution that the founders of our great movement made 113 years ago to form this organization. Our anniversaries provide us with the opportunity to reflect on our history as an organization, but also to reflect on the achievements and the setbacks that we have gone through. But they also outline the actions that we must take to advance the struggle for a united, non-racial, non-sexist, and prosperous South Africa. Now, celebrating our anniversary in this beautiful part of our country allows us really an opportunity to commemorate and to honor the contributions of the people who suffered and struggled for our liberation. The indigenous people of the Western Cape were the first to encounter those who would arrive, invade our country, take our land, and bring slavery to these shores of our beautiful country and oppress the people of our land for centuries. Equally, the people of the Western Cape have a very deep history of resistance to slavery, of resistance to colonization, forced labor, as well as resistance to apartheid. The first recorded political prisoners on Robben Island are said to have been Ashumato, the leader of the Khoi, and two of his other colleagues, Jan Khoi, and Bobo, in the mid-17th century. They were imprisoned there by Jan van Riebeeck. Some historians put the date of their imprisonment like less than 10 years after Jan van Riebeeck first set foot on our shores in 1652. Now, this tradition of resistance carried through to heroes and heroines of our struggle, such as Dr. Abdul Ram, Sisi Gul, Dora Tamana, Oscar Mpeta, Philip Hosanna, Ray Alexander, Christmas Tinto, Dulcie September, Dalla Omar, Colleen Williams, Ashri Creel, and many others who followed in the tradition of those who started off the struggle against colonialism and apartheid some 340 years ago. And tonight, we bow our heads to their commitment to our struggle and the many sacrifices that they made. We stood in awe in Robben Island as we remembered the sacrifices that were made by people like Nelson Mandela, Walter Sisulu, Wilton Mkwai, and many others. Dr. Seth Cooper, who is the chairperson of the Robben Island Museum, who was a resident also and a prisoner on Robben Island, took us around and showed us the various sites on Robben Island, including not only the cell, but the lime quarry, where Nelson Mandela and many other prisoners were humiliated and their dignity was sought to be reduced, and where their warders and those who had imprisoned them wanted to break them, not only to reduce them to people who did not have dignity, but also to make sure that they remain isolated. He showed us all the various sites, and we were in awe. But we also recognized that this was a place of hope. This was a place where they came out of prison being even more determined and committed to prosecute our struggle to the victory that we finally achieved. And due to their struggles, we stand here today as a politically free people who can draw on this very proud legacy to address the challenges faced by our nation and our people. As the national leadership of the African National Congress, we've spent the past few days crisscrossing the length and the breadth of this province, Western Cape, and especially the city of Cape Town, talking to our people, engaging with our people, and getting to fully understand the issues that they confront, issues that pervade the entire country, obviously. And they raise issues about their daily struggles, struggles of unemployment, struggles of a lack of housing, lack of services, and the challenges that they face of poverty and real suffering. And they informed us that they are not receiving the services that they believe are due to them. And all this suffering is largely due to centuries of institutionalized racism, institutionalized exclusion, also from economic opportunities, the economic inequality that continues to permeate through all the facets of the lives of our people. The ANC January 8th statement, which will be delivered tomorrow from the National Executive Committee, will address issues of concern to the people of our country. And it will also outline the reasons the ANC holds the firm view that the National Democratic Revolution is incomplete. We need to intensify the execution of the National Democratic Revolution. We have yet to attain the vision that has been set out in the Freedom Charter as South Africa to ensure that indeed we bring about prosperity in our country. All our people are yet to share in the wealth of our country. And the quest that continues to be articulated by our people broadly, but that is more sharply also articulated by the young people in our country. And in this regard, I want to applaud the ANC Youth League that continues in all their messages to harp on the issue of the economic freedom that must be attained in our country. We applaud the ANC Youth League for that. We also applaud the ANC Women's League for continuing to articulate the issue of the empowerment of the women of our country, but also to articulate the key issues that we need to address with regard to gender-based violence. We take off our hat to the ANC Women's League for that. And we also wish to applaud the articulation by the ANC Veterans League of ensuring that the ANC becomes an organization of integrity and continues to work on the renewal project that the ANC must continue to broaden and to deepen in our organization. And we thank the ANC Veterans League for that as well. Now, we know that as the movement, we need to expand our programs that are aimed at tackling the unacceptably high unemployment rate, the pervasive poverty, as well as lingering inequality. And the ANC thus reiterates its commitment to continue with the process of driving inclusive growth that fundamentally will lead to the transformation of the economy of our country, as well as the various other institutions of our economy. And such inclusive growth must benefit all South Africans, but in particular, the women of our country, the young people, and the marginalized, vulnerable groups throughout our country. In particular, we must put before our people concrete and targeted measures to address the challenge of unemployment. But we must also focus on how we empower young people to prepare them for the world of work, to focus on broadening access to education, as well as enhancing the quality education and strengthening skills development, and expand enrollment in areas demanded by the evolving labor market. And laws such as the Basic Education Laws Amendment, the GALA law, are aimed at ensuring that we improve our education system. And we insist that indeed that law, the GALA Act, is going to be implemented. Whether people like it or not, it is going to happen. And a core component of preparing the youth of our country for changing the nature of work, obviously, will be about working together with the private sector to link technical and vocational training to skills that are required, particularly in the digital age and emerging industries. Specific interventions to ensure greater participation by women and vulnerable groups in the economy will also be expanded and strengthened. Now, our strategy, which we will speak to tomorrow, which the NEC has spent considerable time focusing on and crafting the January 8th statement, will also be about how we should transform and build an inclusive economy, and an inclusive economy that will grow, particularly grow one important area, industrialization, innovation, as well as how we can utilize new technology, particularly artificial intelligence. Increased industrialization must also lead to supporting localization and building labor-intensive industries. In efforts to prevent deindustrialization, we want our government to continue to work with the private sector to develop solutions to mitigate and also to prevent job losses. We're now seeing quite a number of companies talking of reducing their capacities in various sectors. And we would like, obviously, government to work with those. And today here we have business people, and we would like them to come forward with ideas on how we can prevent calamities such as job losses that can ensue. Our government must continue to support small and medium enterprises, and we would like those who are part of the business community here to also come forward with innovative ideas, creative ideas that will enhance the capability of government to address the growth of the small, medium enterprises. As enjoined by the Freedom Charter, we will also want to ensure that we implement the National Health Insurance Act, the NHI, and provide universal access to quality health care that is free at the point of service, meaning that the NHI will be implemented. We will proceed with that. And of course, we will also, in the NEC statement, want to talk about how we build a safer and crime-free country, and how we will want to engage society more broadly to work with the various law enforcement agencies so that we can root out criminality amongst the various communities, and by so doing, to ensure that we have a safer South Africa. We repeat our call, and this will be made much clearer tomorrow as well, to ANC structures to lead various campaigns in our communities to ensure that the process of protecting our people, the process of ensuring that the ANC continues to be the leader of society, becomes realized. And we will also talk to the understanding that we have brought to bear about the painful electoral setback that the African National Congress suffered in 2024. And we will also speak to the reasons why we suffered this setback and what the ANC needs to do to claim back ground, and how we can ensure that the African National Congress not only regains ground, but regains the trust and confidence of our people. We've always said that the strength of the African National Congress lies in its footprint in every ward throughout the country, whether it's in the urban areas, in the rural areas, in our towns and villages. And even as we have gone around here in the Western Cape, we have seen that the people of our country still have a very strong love affair with the African National Congress. They still love the ANC, and therefore it behoves on us to deepen and broaden the renewal program that we have embarked upon and accelerate the rebuilding and capacitation of the African National Congress, particularly its branches. The ANC as a left and a multi-class pro-poor movement with a working class bias, together with its alliance partners, the South African Communist Party as the vanguard of the working class, the Revolutionary Trade Union Movement, COSATU, and the civic movement, SANCO, continue to represent the aspirations of millions of South Africa from all walks of life. Working together with the broad democratic movement, we do believe that our revolutionary and living alliance remains best placed to unite the broadest swath of society in our country around the common goals that are represented in the aspirations of our people, and where we can continue as the democratic movement and the alliance to lead our country towards the establishment of a national democratic society. We intend, as we articulate the tasks that lie ahead, to strengthen the alliance so that it can meet the challenges before us. And as we do that, we also want to invite the Progressive Business Forum and various other progressive organizations to join us in ensuring that the ideals that we subscribe to are achieved. Now, these are the tasks that lie ahead, which the National Executive Committee has decided we should focus on in the year that we have just started. And this we shall do. This year, we will be having a number of other manifestations, very important manifestations. One of the key ones is the 70th anniversary of the adoption of the Freedom Charter. We will want to spend time during the course of this year to focus on the key elements of the Freedom Charter. The lodestar document that has inspired our movement, a lodestar document that to a large extent has also led to the transformation that we see in our country. Having been adopted 70 years ago, we will celebrate the adoption of this document, but we will also want to spend time reflecting on the extent to which we have gone ahead to implement the Freedom Charter. This year, another important manifestation which the Treasurer General, Dr. Ramokgopa, also spoke very strongly about is how South Africa will be the first African country to host the G20. This is an important opportunity. It's an important opportunity to place the needs and the interests of the people of our country, but also the interests of our continent, but also importantly, the interests, the developmental interests of the Global South, more firmly on the global agenda. Being the small country that we are, of just 60 or so million people, history has bestowed on us an important role to play a very big role in global affairs. And this presidency of the G20 is a presidency that is bestowed on the shoulders of all of us as South Africans. So each one of us is president of the G20. We must make sure that we play that role. As we know, we will be holding meetings of the G20, some 130 meetings. You will have seen last year, one important meeting was held in Johannesburg. There will be many other meetings, 120 meetings that will be held in our country, in all our provinces. And we call upon South Africans to own this G20. We call on South Africans to be willing and prepared to welcome the world to South Africa as we play a key and important role. To you here in the Western Cape, there will be a number of meetings, and we say, be excellent hosts. There are many sites where these people who will come to the G20 meeting will be going to. One of those sites, which, as I said, we visited on the 8th of January, was Robben Island. Robben Island is a very special UNESCO site, and it now receives some 300,000 people every year. And we want that number to go up. They receive 1,000 people a day. And many of those people come from South Africa. So we want to popularize Robben Island and many other sites, including places where slaves were held, so that the image, the reputation of our country is put on a much higher pedestal. And this is the great moment that we have as South Africa, as we welcome all these people who will be coming to the G20. One other important aspect of the G20 is going to be holding a social G20 summit. We learned this from Brazil, where President Lula da Silva called or convened a G20 social summit, bringing together non-governmental organizations or social movements from all over the world. And we will want to do precisely that, if not better and bigger, to bring them here to South Africa. Another key manifestation that we are going to have is to hold the national dialogue. We have committed ourselves to a national dialogue this year. The national dialogue offers a comprehensive platform for all citizens of our country to be part of the political process that should ensue, but which should also help to craft a great future for our country, and to ensure that we involve our people in a discussion, in a dialogue about the type of South Africa we want to have. So we will be going on with that national dialogue. Another important one for us as the African National Congress, we will be holding a very important meeting where the ANC members and branches will be coming together to hold the National General Council, an NGC. So all these important manifestations will be taking place in 2025. And as they take place, we want our members, we want the various parts of the alliance, we want our people to get involved in discussions, in engagement, in interaction. And we do also want to put our continent on the map. And we remain resolute in advancing the interests of our continent, particularly Agenda 2063. We are very pleased that even at this dinner, there are people from various countries on our continent who are present here. And as the TG said, we welcome them, and let's give those from various countries on our continent who are here a round of applause and thank them for being here. So we will continue to advance the interests of our continent and the attainment of Agenda 2063. And at a time of global tension and uncertainty, for us it is now more important than ever that we address or advance the interests of the principles of solidarity, of equality and sustainable development, which are the themes of our G20 presidency. And it is vital that in doing so, we should continue to strengthen the multilateral system, and also that will lead to the reform of global institutions, particularly the financial global institutions and the governance ones. And this is where we will want to heighten the argument of reforming the United Nations. So in the end, as we get thousands of our people to come together tomorrow, and Comrade JJ tells me that they have mobilized the attendance of our people so much, and he says the people of the Western Cape are going to be full in that stadium, and those who come from other provinces will be outside of the stadium. So if you are here and you come from other provinces, find a seat outside the stadium, because it will be full of people from the Western Cape. So we look forward to a really successful January 8th celebration tomorrow, as the Western Cape leadership leads us to a very good January 8th. Tonight, we continue to request you as business people to continue to support this glorious movement. As I was about to come through here, journalists from various TV stations were asking the TG, how much money are you raising at this dinner? And she was very evasive. She didn't want to fully disclose. And they kept on saying, how much is it costing anybody to sit at the deputy president's table? She didn't disclose. How much is it costing to sit at the president's table? She didn't disclose. I am now able to and willing to disclose, but I'll disclose to those who want to contribute more money to the ANC. So we thank you. We thank you for being here. This for us is an important occasion. We've started a tradition as the ANC, which I now see is being copied by a number of other organizations. We were the very first organization to hold a dinner either before our conference or January 8th. Now, we continue to hold it in style. I want to see what they are going to copy. The ANC continues to lead, and the ANC also continues, as we will talk about it tomorrow, to lead the process in the governance of this country. There are those who thought that, yes, the ANC having gone below 50%, it means that it will not continue leading. We lead, and as we work with 9 other political parties, we've ensured that the political stability in our country remains solid. And it remains solid because the ANC continues to execute the task that it was given in 1912 when it was formed, to unite the people of South Africa and to ensure that there is stability in the country. And we